Greetings, demons. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Dungeons 4, Episode 2, The Hellwoods. Off to the Hellwoods.
Talia was taken ever deeper into the lands by her stepbrother Tristan. They passed through the Hellwoods, a hotbed of
Yeah, let's try to raise the narration a little bit. Dialogue volume will stay there. Everything else will get lowered. It's a very careful balancing act. Okay. The achievements. We want to do own an Arcanium, which is like spellcasting mana storage at 100% efficiency, and then also kill 10 heroes with spells. I've already done these achievements, but I'll try for them anyway while playing.
In the underground beneath the Hellwoods, Talia's stepbrother Tristan was tampering with the remains of a dungeon long thought forgotten. But the demonic evil's henchmen were hard on his heels and were also slogging their way through the underground. Tristan had no choice but to retreat.
My brothers! In your eyes I see the same fear that would lead me to despair. The day may come when the...
Tristan, you good-for-nothing imbecile! Can't you just shut up for once? Or finally come up with a different speech? That's so... Hey! Are those my armies of evil? Here! Get me out of here so I can personally kick my stepbrother's butt! Go ahead! Finish them off! Give it to them! Push her away past the expiry date cake, right in their faces!
Never! The power of magic flows through me! A magic barrier will keep those creatures at bay!
It seemed that Tristan did actually have some small knowledge of magic. His barrier was impenetrable to conventional attacks. Where magic was concerned, however, things looked just a little different. The spellbook perusing evil quickly set about tackling this problem underground.
Okay, mark an area for the snots to dig up for an
Before
Arcanum.
the mana-craving evil could resort to magic, it would
And a
first
gobbler
have to
farm.
take care of the demons. It made perfect sense to have a vortex built to house demonic creatures.
So I'm going to have demonic creatures over here, and then my mana over here. So the mana will have gold, evilness, and mana all sort of stored on top of one another. Not that there's like an actual benefit for that. And I am...
Some parts of the underground were saturated with mana. Once dug up, this could be used to cast spells. The mana-addicted evil wanted to try this out as soon as possible.
I'm just looking for gold veins. I didn't find any yet. We'll also get a workshop going. Let's put the workshop here. So, I start off with Demon Tier 2. We're going to unlock the Vortex. So the Vortex, in exchange for evilness, dead demons can be resurrected in the Vortex. The more portals in the Vortex, the more demons can be resurrected at the same time. So if you have, like, let's say you have 3 Vortexes, and you have 3 demons die, instead of being dead, they'll be able to be resurrected. It just costs you evilness to do it. So it is, of course, best to keep them alive, because if you keep getting them killed, it will be a little expensive. And then we'll get the Arcanium going as well to store our mana so that we can spellcast. I think the game kind of wants you to use the Arcanium that they like provide you here, but apparently I'm not doing that. Why not too? And then the other thing I wanted is a workshop. So for me to get the workshop, I need to raise dungeon level. and then go for workshop. And getting the doors will allow me to have 100% efficiency Arcanium. In fact, you know what? The game really does want me to use that Arcanium that they provide me, so I'm just going to nuke this one. I'll have that just be a Gobbler farm. Sure, I'll have it be a Gobbler farm. They want the Gobbler farm to be a 5x5, so there we go. Perfect. Alright, we'll get a little evilness from completing that. Done. This will be a greater than 5x5 vortex. So that will give me evilness there. And then the Arcanium Shrine will give me evilness as well. I'm going to stick a door on that so it can hit 100% efficiency. And then do that over the workshop
had
too.
A vortex built. There, hired demons found shelter and a place to wait until they could be resurrected at the cost of evilness.
Stand fast, men! There may come a day when courage fails us, but it is not this day. On this day we fight! By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I call you to stand firm! Brothers of the kingdom! Let us lay waste to the dungeon! Attack!
Ah, you stole that speech. I've heard something very similar to that before.
That's beside the point. Those words inspired my men. The pen is mightier than the sword.
But weaker than a horde battle axe. It's just too bad that I can't be there to watch the show because I'm stuck in your stupid cage.
All right. So we'll fill this up all the way. And then build a shrine in the middle. And that will give us a little bit more evilness. I don't have money right now, so I need my little snots to be chipping away at in the vault. I've queued up a lot of stuff that I simply cannot afford, but they'll get around to it. So on the Overland map, I can see that there are 4 coming into the dungeon right now, which means that they're going to be popping out of this stairwell in just a second.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
So I have some basic demons here that I'd like to keep alive, so I don't have to spend evilness to resurrect them. But this initial attack was not particularly strong, so it should be alright. There we go. Now I have 2 treasuries, one back here where there's gold veins, and then one where I started with gold veins as well. Good. That should help the gold out. We got the vortexes, so I have 2 vortexes, so I can afford to lose 2 demons at once while they resurrect.
Doors in the dungeon not only reduce drafts, but could also stop heroes and other enemies in their tracks.
And our first Rhadamant is getting built, so soon we will have doors
increase the efficiency
as well.
Of rooms. It therefore made sense to have a door to close off a production room.
Alright, just waiting for my units to get the things built. So we have a Rhadamant now going for toolkits. I'll get some evilness for building a door, and then we can start summoning additional horde units. So I should save up for the Gazer, which is a long-range, slow attacker. Yeah, the narrator is great, and I love how he like rips on Talia and the evilness and everything like pretty regularly. This is a big old mana room. As you can see, it doesn't fit all the mana, so some of the mana is just like pooled here. Because this room can only store 720, and there's already 720 in there if I started counting, which I'm not going to do. Alright. Spell! Yes. So now, simple spells can use the mana that's stored in the Arcanium, and the simple spells give me Bat Swarm, which is like an AoE dot, Aura of Thorns, which buffs my units and makes them reflect damage, and then Slow. So Slow plus Bat Swarm, for instance, is a pretty powerful combo, especially if you cast it on like lava, so that they have to stay there and be slow. The other thing I could do is create resources. So that's what I'm going to do, because we're out of gobblers. So I'm just going to summon some gobblers in, so that we have food for them. And then I'll do the same in the workshop. I'll just summon in some extra traps in a minute.
A first door now adorn the dungeon. The grandiose evil not only use it to increase the efficiency of rooms or to stop enemies for a short time,
more
but it could also
toolkits.
lock doors to seal off areas for its subordinates.
Alright, let's go get the... So the Gazer wants more evilness. I'll get the evilness as soon as I build this shrine, so we're just waiting on the shrine, essentially. The other thing I could do in the meantime is level that up to 3, because it was for gold only. And then... I'm seeing what doesn't cost evilness to unlock. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Payday.
I'll summon more toolkits in. They're being used pretty quickly because I put doors on everything. Oh, there we go. Now the Arcanium Mana Shrine is getting done. So the Arcanium Mana Shrine is exactly like the Rhadamant, where a little snot just like works there and generates that resource, in this case mana for me, automatically. Where's the mana coming from? So the mana can either come from the Mana Shrine or from digging up mana underground. So here, if the purple tiles, the blue tiles are just regular stone, and the purple tiles are mana stones, or mana sources. So you can just go around looking for mana sources. But this room basically already had all the mana in it at the start, so it didn't really need me to stockpile it. It came with a whole bunch. But yeah, there's a lot of mana over here if I need more. We'll see. So the demons are eating. And in a second here, I'll have enough to get the gazers as soon as this thing's built. I think this snot's bringing the last of the toolkits for it. Yep. Sweet. Oh, here's some new heroes. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast Slow on them. And then Bat Storm.
The never went to hogwash evil's little snot had built an Arcanium. Should one of these droll little workers manage to find the time, mana would from now on be produced here. A little snot set about generating mana in the Arcanium to make it available to the spell-wielding evil. The gallant evil had now gained access to a number of spells. Create resources, for example, allowed toolboxes or gobblers to quickly be created as if out of thin air. In keeping with his childlike disposition, the amused evil immediately tried this out.
Okay, create resources, sure. We'll create some more gobblers.
The evil's eyes glowed with joy as it successfully used the Create Resources spell. This would allow stocks to be filled even without decent production.
Okay, we now have a decent little demon army, and I am going to send them to the surface with support of my spells, of course. So 3 gazers. So hit M. That's my current army. So let's try to level them up on the surface. Drop them in the... This is what the pathway to the surface normally looks like. And here we are. So I'm going to attack to here. Try to go for that 10. And I'll just regularly spellcast to just make it easier on my demons so they can level up and become stronger. Because, of course, if they die, I have to spend evilness. I'd rather just spend mana than evilness. This mana's cheaper. And I'll just keep buffing them. So now the gazers have even longer range. Keeping them further out of harm's way, which is nice. And we should be getting a lot of evilness from clearing these camps. Now, what could be done down here? So one thing I could do, one thing I find useful, is to put down a lot of slime traps, so that if heroes do breach into your dungeon, it gives you like a nice long time to be able to deal with it. Because if you don't have, if you don't have a lot of traps to kill them, because I have spells, I don't really need traps, so I might as well just set myself up so that I can just spell cast them to death instead. But slowing them down, it gives me the opportunity to cast a little bit more easily. And here you can see some of the resources popping out was gold, mana, toolkits, and or toolboxes rather, and evilness.
The spoiled evil had discovered a few stray demons who were all too willing to join his dark army. Of all things, these were stuck in a rather awkward position. The perplexed evil pondered how to go about it.
Hey,
so this is the portal spell.
Favorite, because only stepbrother. See my troops marching over there? I think they're gonna make short work of you.
Don't get your hopes up too soon, stepsister. My barrier and my men will stop them. We got what we wanted here, and we'll soon be on the road again.
Creatures, get me the hell out of here already! Come on, get a move on! Save me, free me, sign petitions demanding my release!
The ingenious evil had managed to return the scattered demons safely back to the dungeon by means of a spell.
Alright, I have souped up demons now. So I cast a portal spell here, which you can cast anywhere on the overworld and will turn you back to the dungeon heart, which is a good way to, for some mana, to sort of shortcut. If heroes were attacking, in the dungeon, I could bring my people home very quickly. Or, shouldn't call them people, they're not really people.
An arcane tear had appeared very close to the absurd evil's armies. These magical anomalies were not uncommon in the area and promised great power to those who knew how to use them. The creatures of corrupting evil had captured an arcane tear. New power flowed through it, giving it the ability to now cast the meteor rain spell. As luck would have it, there was a group of heroes nearby who made worthy targets.
Alright, I have been spellcasting like crazy, so let's make sure that our mana doesn't run out, shall we? So I can... actually, let's not go that hog wild. We'll do 3. And then... over here, I'll dig up some mana. So digging up mana is an imperfect solution because you have to then transport it into storage, but, it will work for us filling up our mana stores.
The arcane tear's power could now be used by the spell-casting evil.
So in this map, when you get the arcane tears, it unlocks additional spells. So the first spell I got from the Arcane Tear was the Meteor Shower. This thing, which is really useful in making them go smush. And there's no friendly fire, so like I can cast it on myself if I need to. Alright, continuing down. There we go.
A new area of the dungeon has been discovered.
Oh, I found a lava pit full of traps, or full of kits. So in this specific campaign, it gives you a lot of evilness, just to make sure that you don't run out to resurrect your own demons, because of course that could happen if you weren't careful. And the difficulty does ramp as you progress into the campaign. Like the first, I would say, like 4 campaign missions, even on the hardest difficulty, is not hard, but it does get there eventually. Oh, running out of gobblers.
I still can't believe you really did all that.
Double the
Weren't we
gobbler
like
farm.
family to you?
I was constantly insulted and humiliated. Does that sound like a family to you?
Yes?
The merciless evil's army had reached the magical barrier. A spell would sweep it away.
Okay, so his little magical barrier spell, I can just nuke.
While the Cruciatus intoning evil was making its way through the protective barrier, Talia and Tristan continued upon their way.
Tristan, beloved brother, would you be so kind as to open this cage door for me? There's no need for us to argue.
Step-brother, and I simply cannot forgive you for slaying our foster father. Not to mention half of the good people of the country.
Only half? Huh. I mean, all that just kind of happened. I don't know how exactly it could all go so wrong either.
You put Tanos' head on a spear.
He bloody well deserved it. Time and again, I had to suffer insults from him and his henchmen simply because of my origins, as if all dark elves were evil.
You killed hundreds of heroes, slew Father's companions, and put Father's head on a spear.
They made me do it. It's society's fault.
So the demons will heal out of combat, and I don't want to lose demons from that catapult, so I fire nuke the catapult once, and I'm just letting the demons heal up so I don't die.
Heroes had entered the dungeon, while
Oh.
the arsonist evil was marching its army around the overworld. Thanks to the demonic portal spell, creatures could instantly be sent back to the dungeon from the overworld.
So, good use of the portal spell. And also, I'll just, like, nuke all of them. And that's why I put these slow traps here, so that, encroaching heroes... Well, you know what would be particularly nasty? If I made them... Oh, here's even more. Here, I'll just nuke you with this. Bye! Oops. Oh, there's a lot of you. Good. The more, the merrier. All right, I'm gonna give my demons a little bit of a break because they're wounded. In fact, I'll just dump them into the demon room. And I am gonna design the entryway here to be really obnoxious, where it's a long tunnel of slime leading into a pit of lava. Seems evil, right? All right. So up here, Arcane Tears, Conquered Arcane Tears will provide you with a regular supply of mana. In addition, they will allow you to use Arcane Might, which immediately removes the cooldown on all spells and boosts their effectiveness. That itself has a cooldown, but that should allow us to spellcast Nuke a bit more. Oh, my max mana changed. Well, let's just make my mana room even more obscenely large than it already was. Because why not? And my demons are all healed up, so I'm gonna dump them through the portal here to go back where they were sent through and take out the catapult and continue the campaign. The Reign of Terror. For I am mighty Robespierre. So at the top of this is another Arcane Tear.
A new
Let's
area
do
has
it.
been unearthed in the dungeon. The magic using evil had conquered an arcane tear. Armed with that captured power, it could now use the mana shield spell.
Oop, people are dying. Mana shield. Look away for a second and get nuked. So what happens if I die is, as you can see, I used a little bit of evilness for this demon, and it's being resummoned in the vortex at the cost of some evilness. And then these demons here will start healing as they're out of combat after like 30 seconds.
Exhausted.
Where is their other gold? There's gotta be gold around here somewhere, right? Mana.
The gold vein has been mined out.
Maybe they don't give me extra gold. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Creatures are collecting their pay.
I have enough money to complete this. And we still have, so this has got my dad up here, but we still have all these nodes. So we should be fine. Okay, now they're all healed up. Let's have the demon down here that got resurrected join us. Drop him through the portal. And converge all of my heroes here to go hit them. And in fact, because I have so much mana, I'll just soften them up with spells. Because why not?
Tristan, I finally understand. I behaved poorly. If you let me out now, I vow to do better.
Really?
Of course not, you imbecile! I'd give you a wedgie worse than I ever gave you in our entire childhood. One you'd still be telling your grandchildren about, provided you can still have children and grandchildren at all afterwards.
She likes to hit below the belt. She is evil after all. Oh, heroes in my dungeon. I wonder how they're going to enjoy my, like, lava hallway. In fact, you know what? I don't even want to kill you. I am just going to cast slow and bats. And you can get really messed up from being slow on lava and eaten alive by bats. Sounds fair. Yep, they did not survive. Efficiency. Love it. Alright, so what do we have left to do? We have to kill this Hero's Hall guarded by a cannon tower. And then another Arcane Tear, and then another Hero's Hall, and then we will be to Taylor.
Talia, I wish you would change your ways. Remember back when we were children and played together by the creek?
And you threw me in?
You dropped a bee's nest on my head first.
Oh, that's right. I remember the way your head swelled up like a melon.
Oh, let's back up, actually. I don't want to face a patrol. So in these patrols, some of them have, like, gold symbols over their head, and that means they're elites. And elites are legitimately much harder to kill than normal creatures. So you gotta be careful with it, because they will nuke you pretty good. As you can see, this demon's getting his butt kicked by this elite warrior. So if I was facing the cannon tower plus these elite warriors, I would have a bad day. So I'm going to leave them out of combat for about 30 seconds so that they can heal. I've already done all the research, so whatever evilness and money I have is for paydays and for resurrections. Really? I need more gobblers? Jesus, you guys eat a lot. Demons. My lord. Alright, fine. More gobs. I got the money. I will just give you gobblers. The largest gobbler farm you've ever seen.
The power of the arcane tears had been activated. Spells were immediately available again, and were now even more powerful.
Alright. Plowing through them. Hey, we unfortunately opened up a void, which is going to make it hard to have an efficient gobbler farm. RIP. Maybe like that.
Your enemies are in the dungeon. The arcane tear's power could now be used again. Payday.
Alright, there's an elite here. I might just super nuke. As you can see, this bombardier takes a lot of punishment before he gets killed. Alright. There we go. Big old gobbler farm. And we'll summon some extra gobblers in. He is not dead. You really gonna make me come back? Yeah, you're gonna make me come back. Okay, fine. Into the portal. Gotta kill an elite. Come on, into the portal. Because I think I casted it on my own self. Its hitbox was weird. And there's another patrol coming in. Let's soften them up. Can I build walls? Yes. With insert key. Oh, and another patrol. They just keep coming.
The arcane tear's power strengthened the magical evil spells.
So instead of sending my army back through the portal I made here, because they were close to entering the dungeon, I have my army attacking their patrols. And then I'll double back to the last tear and the tent, and then to Tristan. Although, you know, if you're going to stand together, I'm going to nuke you. By clicking on the card, it seems, in the room, you can open the menu. Yes, yeah. So if I click on the Gobbler Farm, I can just expand the Gobbler Farm or build anything relevant to the room, like like mana shrines or
And
Rhadamants
again,
or something like
the
that.
power of the arcane tears stood available.
All right, so let's wrap this one up. There's really not much staying between us and the victory condition. Look at all that mana. God, gobblers are done already? Fine, I will have the most obscene gobbler farm in the history of all gobblers.
A new area has been unearthed in the dungeon.
Oh, for the love of... I keep hitting voids. Here, we'll be like the KFC or the yeah, we'll be the KFC of the underworld here. Gobblers everywhere.
A gold vein has been mined out. The spell-wielding evil had seized an arcane tear. The newfound magic allowed it to now use a spell to summon the Prince of Hell.
So the ultimate spell of all the tears is the Prince of Hell spell, where the prince is summoned, and as long as you have mana, he rips through the enemies until you run out of mana. So it's kind of like a mana dump ability, but that's fine. All right, there we go. Capacity of 276 gobblers.
Payday.
In fact, I'm going to use the Arcane Tear just to, like, summon a double stack of gobblers, because I'm so tired of them being hungry.
More powerful.
Alright, we do have 2 patrols on the way to our base. I'll try to spellcast them down. And some of our demons are... oh no, those are enemy assassins that are really low. There is one gazer that's really low. Getting shot by the ballista, no doubt.
The Arcane Tear's power could now be used again.
I played this game through the campaign for maybe like 6 or 7 hours just to learn it. There are some features like custom player maps and things that I did not check out, which I could only assume probably dramatically increases replayability. But because I didn't actually use it, I can't speak to it. I don't know, if you check howlongtobeat.com, you could probably figure out like how long a typical campaign is. And then there's also skirmish mode, which is the non-campaigns where you just fight. So there's a fair bit of replayability, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's up there on like S tier replayability. It's just, you know, there is a lot to do. All right, come on, assassins, don't eat my troops. So now there's only one more magical barrier between me and Tristan, so we're getting there, almost done. I do have 2 elite heroes in my base. I actually might be able to kill one of them with spells. Yeah, there goes one. Nuke the other. Very, very mana costly. In fact, I'll Arcane Tear. I don't want to have to come back here, so I'm just gonna like mana dump on that dude's head so I can leave my troops in position for the final fight. Oh, you can get him. Yep, he died. Good. Alright, last area is right through this way.
There's my army. Time for you to die, stepbrother. Go, my creatures! Grab them, run them down, rub hot cheese.
So in this part of the, well, you know what? I'm going to summon the Prince of Hell. I'm going to wait a second until I have a little bit more mana.
In your eyes,
And then, like,
You're not going to repeat that same old crap again, are you? Are you?
Ah, men, stop them! Talia,
here we go.
we have to move on.
Alright, here he is. Crowley.
The power of the arcane tears was once again available.
You know, because supernatural. Alright. And that's it.
In its drink-loving Evil's armies had defeated Tristan's pathetic defenders. Evil's creatures were filled with jubilation, but the disembodied essence of evil was not yet in the mood to celebrate, for Tristan himself had escaped and still had Talia with him. The lingering without physical form evil pretended to sigh and once again took up pursuit.
Thank you for tuning in to Dungeons 4, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 14th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to Discord. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell.